Hi guys, this is Chaitanya, and today we are going to discuss about Norton's theorem. Coming to the statement of Norton's theorem, any combination of linear bilateral circuit elements and active sources, regardless of the connection or complexity, when connected to a given load ZL, ZL is load impedance, may be replaced by a simple two-terminal network which consists of a single current source IN in parallel with an impedance ZN across the two terminals of the load ZL. We are going to understand this statement with the help of the circuit presented here. This circuit consists of multiple sources and multiple impedances. This statement helps us to convert this complex circuit into a simple circuit which consists of one current source in parallel with equivalent impedance across the load terminal ZL. Here ZL is the load impedance and the current flowing through the ZL is the load current. So with the help of Norton's theorem, we are going to calculate the current flowing through the load. So before going to see the steps for solving Norton's theorem problem, we are going to see some important points related to Norton's theorem. We all know that theorems are applicable for both AC as well as DC network. If we are going to use the AC network, then we are going to call these as impedances. If we are going to use a DC network, we are going to call these as resistance. These points are important, guys. Just remember. Next, we are going to see about steps for solving Norton's theorem. Our first step is we are going to short the load resistor. Our second step is we are going to calculate the current across the short circuited terminals. That current we are going to call it as a Norton's current. Coming to the third step, we are going to calculate the equivalent resistance here. This is somewhat different, guys. So in the second step, we have short circuited the load resistor, right? But for calculating the equivalent resistor, we are going to open circuit or we are going to remove the load resistor and we are going to see from the open circuited terminals in order to calculate the equivalent resistance. That equivalent resistance we are going to call it as the Norton's resistance, which is represented with Rn. So coming to the fourth step, we are going to redraw the circuit with one current source, that is IN, in parallel with one resistor Rn, which is connected across the RL. In order to calculate the current flowing through the load resistor, here we are using the current division rule. So according to the current division rule, the current IL can be calculated as total current into opposite resistance by sum of the resistances. So with the help of this formula, we are going to calculate the load current here. This we are going to understand with the help of one basic problem. The problem is calculate the current flowing through the load resistor using Norton's theorem. Here, if you observe this circuit, in the circuit he has mentioned this resistor, the 6 ohm resistor as RL. RL indicates the load resistor. If he is not going to mention the RL value, then the circuit may be asked like this, like calculate the current flowing through the 6 ohm resistor. then we are going to think that this 6 ohm resistor as a load resistor. If he is going to ask the calculate the current flowing through the 5 ohm resistor, then we need to assume this 5 ohm resistor as the load resistor and we need to solve accordingly. But as of now, as RL is given across the 6 ohm, so we are going to consider this 6 ohm resistor as the load resistor and we are going to follow the steps that we have seen in the last slide to solve this Norton's theorem problem. Coming to the solution, our first step is we are going to short the load resistor, right? So if we short the load resistor, the circuit is going to look like this. Coming to the step 2, we are going to calculate the current across the shorter terminals. So that shorter terminal is this, right? So we need to calculate the current flowing through this. That is nothing but our Norton's current IN. So if you observe, the current flowing through this is I2. So if you know the value of I2 here, then we can calculate the current IN, right? So in order to calculate this I2 or current flowing through this resistor R2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the mesh analysis or loop analysis for this circuit. So in order to apply the mesh analysis or loop analysis, we need to give the loop currents. So the same thing I have mentioned here. I1 is the current flowing through the loop 1 and I2 is the current flowing through the loop 2. So after that, we need to give the sign notation, right? So in order to give the sign notation, let me take the pen. So for the voltage source, the current is flowing from minus to plus. So it is a potential rise, we are going to call it, right? So whereas for the resistor, the current is flowing through this part, right? So the entrance part is going to be plus and the leaving part is going to be minus, right? In the similar way here for the R3, the entrance part is going to be plus and the leaving part is going to be minus. This is for the first loop. And for the second loop, if you give the sign notation, see here the current is entering here, right? So this is going to be plus and this is going to be minus. In the similar way, the current is entering here, so this is going to be plus and this is going to be minus, right? Now what we are going to do is we are going to write the loop equation. By applying KVL for the first loop, I'm going to write the loop equation here. So if I write the loop equation, see this I1 is flowing from negative to positive. So we are going to get the value as plus 15. Why? Because from minus to plus, it is a potential rise. Potential rise means plus. So I'm going to write the equation as plus 15. And if you observe, the current is flowing from positive to negative through the resistor R1, right? So from positive to negative means it is a potential drop. So I'm going to write it as minus here, and the drop across this resistor R1 is 10 into I1. So I'm going to write it as 10 into I1. So coming to the drop across R3. So in order to write the drop across R3, if you observe, the current is flowing from plus to minus. So I have taken as minus here. Next, the drop here is, if you observe in this resistor R3, two currents are flowing. One is I1 and the second one is the I2. But if you observe clearly, these two currents are in the opposite direction. So as we are writing for the loop 1 equation, I am going to consider this as 5 into I1 minus I2, which is equals to 0. So this is our first loop equation. So coming to the second loop equation, from this part, if you write the equation, I am starting from R2. So current is moving from plus to minus. So minus 10 into I2 and I'm going to have minus 10 into I2. And if you observe here, this is moving from plus to minus. So again, minus 5 into, now I'm writing for the loop 2, right? So 5 into I2 minus I1, which is equals to 0. So this is going to be your second equation. If you solve these two equations, we are going to get the I1 as well as I2 value. So I1 value is 1.125 amperes and I2 value is 0.375 amperes. So finally, we need to calculate the short circuit current here, right? With the help of step 2, we need to calculate the short circuit current. So our short circuit current is nothing but the current flowing through the resistor R2. So what is the current flowing through the resistor R2? That is nothing but your I2. So therefore, your I2 is nothing but your short circuited current, that is IN, which is equals to 0.375 amperes. So in this way, we need to calculate the Norton's current IN. Coming to the step 3, we need to calculate the equivalent resistance, seeing from open circuited terminals. So we are going to draw the circuit like this. We are going to open circuit the load resistor, and from the open circuited terminals, we are going to start reducing this for calculating the Norton's resistance Rn. So the formula for this is, if you observe, this R1 and R3 are in parallel, which is going to be in series with R2. So therefore, I am going to write the equation as Rn equals to R1 into R3 by R1 plus R3 total plus R2. If I substitute the values of R1, R2 and R3 in this, I am going to get the equivalent resistance value as 13.33 ohm. Coming to the last step, that is step 4. In this step, we are going to redraw the circuit and we are going to calculate the load current. If you redraw the circuit, this is the circuit that we are going to get. Here, this I1 is nothing but your Norton's current, IN. We got the value as 0.375 amperes. So I'm going to mention it in the terms of milliamperes here. So that's why it is showing as 375 milliamperes, which is connected in parallel with one resistor, that is Rn here. This is nothing but your Rn value, that is 13.33 ohm, which is connected across the load resistor Rn, right? So our RL value is 6 ohm. Finally, we need to calculate the load current IN by using the formula current division rule, right? So by using this formula, we are going to calculate the load current. If you substitute the values of Norton's current, Norton's resistance and load resistors here, we are going to get the value of I1 as 0.258. So this is the load current value. So in this way, we are going to solve any circuit related to the Norton's theorem easily if we are going to follow these 4 steps properly.